right. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, that's right. Ooh,
welcome.
Yeah. Ooh, that's right. Ooh, yeah.
I used to have a six-pack.
Yeah. Ooh,
and now I just got
yeah.
breadsticks.
That's right. Used to have a six-pack.
This is Truth Bomb Memes. Hello, Dr. Freud.
That's right.
How are you today?
I used to have a six-pack.
Very
I
nice.
used to have a six-pack.
Very. Thank you for having me on the show. It's okay. I bring Sebastian, my pet zebra.
Pack.
Deck. Absolutely.
And now I got just breadsticks.
Absolutely. Will Sebastian be requiring any cold brew coffee today?
Now
We've got 3 selections.
Oh no, the zebras drinks the coffee.
I used to have a
It's bad
six-pack.
for them.
Oh, I did not know
Now I
that.
got just breadsticks.
This is today's beat,
I used to have
everybody.
a six-pack.
What do you think, Dr. Freud?
Now I got just breadsticks.
Well, it sounds just like the beat from the
that's right.
previous show.
I know.
Yeah.
True,
That's right.
that's true, but let's not tell everybody let's not air
That's
our
right.
dirty laundry
Yeah. Ooh,
on
that's right. Ooh, yeah.
camera. They don't need to know that right now. I mean,
Yeah.
what they
That's
should
right.
know is that Truth
Used to
Bomb
have a
Memes,
six-pack.
ladies and gentlemen,
I used to have a six-pack. That's
pardon
right.
me while I adjust my
Used to
seating
have a
and get you a better
six-pack.
camera angle.
I used to have
I'm
a
not just the host. I'm also the guy pushing
That's
all the
right.
buttons on the switcherino board and doing the sliding that way.
six-pack.
We're doing the sideways slide
Deck. And now I got just breadsticks.
straight from the original video toaster for those video
used to have
editors
a
out there.
six-pack.
In the 90s, we had a little gizmo called.
Now I got just breadsticks. And
the
now
video
I got just
toaster.
breadsticks.
And I believe
I used to have it.
I believe the video toaster, and you guys chime in, you video editors chime in if I'm wrong. The toaster, you can probably still get it in software form, but I believe it was a piece of hardware. It was actual hardware that we used to make titles, like you see, the phone number, that kind of stuff. And you could do little tricks with it, and you could do transitions. And the slide to the left, which looks like this, you could slide right, slide left. They had some fancy spin outs. In fact, a lot of these are still alive and well, and they're on apps like CapCut, or Adobe Premiere has an app called Rush. I don't use Rush because it's not compatible with my older Android model, but that's okay. It's still a good program. Adobe Premiere's Rush and CapCut, I believe, was invented or is part of TikTok. They're both pretty easy to use, and they both have some weird little glitches, but they're both free, too. They're not paying me. Are they paying me? No, they're not paying me. Not yet. Hang on, I need some echo for that. They're not paying me, but I'm still shilling. I'm shilling for them. I think that's a word. SHILLING. You wordsmiths, hook me up. Also, speaking of wordsmiths, how many of you Americans, and by Americans I mean anybody that believes in freedom, how many of you Americans play Wordle? If you haven't tried Wordle and you're a word buff, I highly recommend it. It comes out each day, published by the New York Times, and it's a 5-letter word that you have to guess. It's a word guessing game. It's a lot like Wheel of Fortune, but there are no clues. You just have to your first guess, you just take a stab, right? 5-letter word. I usually go with, I'll tell you one of my secrets, I go with irate because it's got 3 vowels in it, and then when you enter it, it tells you, did you get any of the right letters and are they in the right order? So if it comes up green, if your letter comes up green, like if I put irate and the letter A turns green, that means not only is it a letter in the word I'm trying to guess, but it's also in the right spot. If it comes up yellow, it means that the letter is in the word, but it's in the wrong spot. So it's a game of using the process of elimination, and I think it's really fun. So if you get the chance, try some Wordle. Wordle, if you want me to shill for you, if you want me to get out there and spread the word, Wordle, you want me to spread the Wordle? I tripped right into that terrible pun. I apologize for that. Let's go back to today's beat to stop thinking about that terrible pun. This is a little track I just wrote. My cousin Sam gave me a loop station RC2, which I think you can see that. Yeah, right here. It's a little red looping station. And I kind of know how to use it, but it's brand new. And this is like only the first or second loop I've created on the loop station RC2. I'm not shilling for them either, but here I go. Loop Station had a feature that I needed, which is it would automatically trim your loop so it stays on the beat. Because even if you got a beat, you may not keep a beat. Even if you got a beat, you may not keep a beat. This isn't what I wanted, so now I'm gonna stop. Ooh. All right, that was... I didn't record that, thankfully.
That's right.
Oh, that reminds me, we are listening to live air traffic control. I like to throw air traffic control into my broadcast. Oh, you're not even seeing the right screen. There I am. Here's the RC2. It auto-quantizes, because I use a lot of vocal loops, and you can count like 1, 2... But your count is not going to be perfect, especially if you're doing a longer loop. Knowing when to stop that loop is going to be hard. So the RC2 lets me clip it. This is old news for serious loopers. This is more for the newbie old people like me. Here's to the old people. It's not all bad, people. There's a lot that sucks about getting older, but some of it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's right.
One of the things is that you live long enough to have an RC7 in your house, and you can make loops for the kids. This is Truth Bomb Memes. We are live. You can call us on the Google phone.
That's right.
509-676-6032. Your voice will be broadcast on the air live on Q109 out of Walla Walla, Washington. You need to know that. By calling in, you give informed consent for me to republish everything you say and to use it in my loops. How you like that? If you don't want to be used in my loops and you're not getting any money for it, actually, you know what? If it was really good, I might actually pay you. But that's not an agreement. What you're agreeing to by calling this number that you see on the screen right up here from the video toaster, if you call those digits, if you punch those digits, baby, 509-636. Oh, I did it wrong. I don't even know my own phone number yet. It's too new. I don't know this number. I'm going to have to read it. 509-676-6032.
Oh, that's right.
We're listening to Calgary Air Traffic Control live, as it happens, to kind of act as a timestamp for this show. It's sort of, issues of fake video stuff is going to be a real problem soon. It already is. And we're going to have to start timestamping things so you know where this happened and at what time, and that you can affix a registration upon your video. Let's say YouTube, if you're listening out there. YouTube, can you hear me? YouTube, if you're listening, do you have Hillary's emails? Because we're still looking for Hillary's emails. Apparently there wasn't anything there. Sorry, couldn't resist. It's a cheap joke, but it's true. It's true. I had my own email server because my work one sucked. And you know what happened? Work found out, and then they yelled at me. They're like, you can't have your own server.
I used to have.
And I was like, what do you think I'm going to do? Give everybody secret information? And they're like, it doesn't matter. You can't have it. So I turned it off. And that's pretty much the whole crime Hillary is committed of, is trying to be efficient. She's getting punished for being smart and efficient.
That's right.
At least
Yeah.
I thought I was smart and efficient when I had my own email server.
That's right.
Thankfully, we kind of live in a country where proof is required to get you thrown in jail. By the way, you Trump folks. Ooh, I didn't I gotta let the people know I'm on the air.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll get some.
Canada 213 Tower, contact departure 12452 Airborne. The
Maybe we'll
winds
get some
are
followers.
1013 from the threshold, please take off runway 179.
Calgary, Canada. Truth bomb memes. Live on the air.
Pack.
Walla Walla, Washington.
And now
Q109. I have to do our call out every so often.
I used to have a 6-pack. Now I got just breadsticks. And now I got just breadsticks.
All right, I'm trying to put our location, but it won't
I
let
used
me.
to have a 6-pack.
Apparently-
now I got just breadsticks.
Facebook does not know where Walla Walla,
I used to
Washington
have a
is,
6-pack.
so I'm going to skip that part.
Now I got just breadsticks. Ooh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Ooh, yeah.
All right, folks.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, that's right.
I think we just posted, so maybe we'll get some followers today.
Yeah. Ooh, that's right.
All right, let me check. Let's check our stream.
That's right. Used to have a 6-pack.
Here, I'll let you watch while I work.
I
This is
used
so
to
fun,
have a
isn't it?
6-pack.
There is a point to this show.
Have a 6-pack.
It's just not clear. It's just not clear what it is yet. Don't hurry me. I'm thinking. I've got my iced coffee, cold brew. If you brew it cold, it's way less bitter.
Pack.
Truth Bomb memes live on
And now I got
Q109.
just breadsticks.
Walla Walla, Washington. That needs a little echo too.
I used to have a 6-pack.
Q109.
And now I got just
Walla.
breadsticks.
Walla, Washington.
I used to have a 6-pack. Now I got just breadsticks.
That's right. That's how we do it here, people. I used to have a 6-pack.
Ooh. Now I got just breadsticks. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, that's right.
That's right. So we have currently
Ooh. Yeah. Ooh.
0 viewers, ladies and gentlemen. Concurrent viewers 0. Someday we hope to change that. We're at 12 minutes 55 seconds.
Used to have a
Coming at you live from Walla Walla, Washington. This is Truth Bomb Memes. We can talk about anything today, but what I really want to talk about is these cool T-shirts that you can buy from me. Because after all, this is everything you see on the internet is there to sell you something. Why should I be any different? So let's pay the bills. If you want to help support not just me, but certainly me, if you want to help support this show, where I will ask you shamelessly for more and more, larger and larger amounts of money, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how con artists work, if I can help it. And then I'm going to take all that money and I'm going to infuse it. We're going to directly infuse it back into, right now, I think my favorite cause is, I want to say election integrity, but that's so misinterpreted now. I want to say democracy integrity. I'll funnel that money back into things like what you're seeing on your screen right now. Science matters. Walk more, drive less, vote. These are cool merchandising items that you can buy. Yard signs are the theme is yard signs, but it's kind of a joke. It's called Kick-Ass Yard Signs and more. Kick-Ass Yard Signs and more. So don't get too caught up in the name, but do understand that you can, as you see right there, buy an actual yard sign. They're $20. Now, if you buy them straight off the street from a friendly sales rep who may or may not be in your neighborhood, because we're just getting started. I don't know where all the sales reps are. What am I, in charge of sales reps? Why can't I go back? Why can't I go back? Kick-ass yard signs, people. You can buy really cool yard signs and T-shirts, and you can get Science Matters. This is my favorite. I think the T-shirts are the really Hugo Boss portion of Kick-ass yard signs. So come buy a T-shirt. We get like $1 a shirt. I believe in full transparency. We get $1. Still no viewers here on Truth Bomb Memes. I did post today to Facebook. And, oh, look, yeah, so I posted on Facebook that we're live on Facebook. Or no, we're live on YouTube, but there's the link. Let's share that. Let's share that with the good old Humans for Democracy over here, because they're some of my favorite people here at Humans for Democracy. And I just want to see if I can actually get a caller to call in. While I'm doing this, I'm going to transition over so the number's out there. 509-676-6032. That is our brand new number on Truth Bomb Memes. Where'd the beats go? Oh, let's play a different song now. I think I've got a better song for you. Yeah, let's play I Go Big. This is actually the jingle for the show, but I wanted to start with the beats today. This is our jingle for the moment. This is Cypher on bass, yours truly on vocals and loops and beats. All that stuff. I go big. I don't go small. I go big. I get it all. Oh, we haven't even started today's lesson. I want to thank the Calgary Air Traffic Control people for being so kind and letting us broadcast them. Actually, they're quite unaware, aren't they? We'll get to today's lesson here in a minute. If you don't like what you see on Kick-Ass Yard Signs, perhaps I can entice you with another shirt. Immigrants make great Americans. Every penny made on this t-shirt goes to the Church of Social Justice. Straight to a church. It's a legit church. We do not have a 501c3, so if you're a big old donor and you want to donate like $1,200 or something, then send me an Instagram tweet on Facebook and use my WhatsApp handle if you don't mind. Well, let's not do WhatsApp handle. Maybe my Snapchat. No, let's leave that alone. Let's try humansfordemocracy.org. Reach out to me there, and we'll get you a 501c3 if you really need it. You don't actually need it. It just makes it easier. We can also give you our registration number. So Immigrants Make Great Americans, sponsored by the Church of Social Justice. All proceeds go to them, and there are different colors. Look at that. I like that one a little bit better. I don't know what you call that color. But the message, I feel feel like I shouldn't have to explain the message here. Immigrants do make great Americans. Most of us are either immigrants or the product of immigrants. And that's a great thing. But we got to treat the immigrants fairly, even if they sneak in. That's right, I said it. Even if they sneak in. Doesn't mean you rip their children out of their arms, which is exactly what that guy did. I know a lot of you will deny it. You don't like it? You can deny it all you want, baby. We got some facts. So what are the facts? Well, here are the facts, and you go look it up because it's public record. Go to whitehouse.gov and search for executive orders. Mr. Trump made an executive order to forcefully separate children from their parents on purpose if they were crossing the border illegally, even if they had no weapons, no intent to do harm, no nothing, no drugs, no monkeypox. It still instructed and forced the Border Patrol agents to rip the children away from the parents. That's what they did. And then it was enforced immediately and enthusiastically by Jeff Beauregard Sessions, the Attorney General of the day, the soup du jour of Attorney Generals. To curry favor with Trump, Beauregard really kicked it into gear, and they traumatized probably tens of thousands of families, and they separated thousands of children, some newborns, some 3-year-olds. 6 of the kids died while being detained. They claimed of things like the flu. Kids died of the flu in our custody because Donald Trump wrote an executive order. You look that up on the website there, people. Sorry, I didn't do the dramatic phase out as well as I could have, so I think I'm going to set it up and take 2. This is take 2, people. So Donald Trump's order to forcefully separate children from their parents, you can read it with your own eyes. It's in the historical record. Tap into your Google machine, and maybe I'll do that for you next time. I'm sure it's a little bit convoluted on the White House website, and they're probably going to send you to the Congressional Records Office or whatever they call it. The point is, Mr. Trump intentionally, willingly inflicted emotional harm, and he liked it. That's my opinion. He enjoyed inflicting emotional harm on these families because A, they're brown, and B, it made him look tough. It was him flexing. He wanted you to be impressed. That's why he loves Vladimir Putin. Even if you love Trump, you have to admit, he needs to flex all the time. And in doing that, he ruined the lives of some families, and I believe 6 children died. So, if you find that in any way troubling, maybe buy a t-shirt on Bonfire from the Church of Social Justice that you can see right there. Just type in Immigrants Make Great Americans, Church of Social Justice, or go to churchofsocialjustice.org. All right, what else do we got to do today? Oh, we were going to do some media literacy today. Let's get to that, and then we'll talk about t-shirts and merchandise again later, because after all, everything you see on the internet, including me, is trying to get money from you. That's what it's all about. That's why Zuckerberg, it was really Sheryl Sandberg, I believe, who maybe realized how much money could be made off of selling eyeballs. They sold us to advertisers, right? You, the consumer of Facebook, are actually the product. You're the product on Facebook. Facebook says to advertisers, look, Sean's on Facebook, and he hovered over those sneakers. Here you go. And then Steve Bannon said, hey, Mark and Cheryl, can I buy the eyeballs of people that are very easy to influence Can I buy the eyeballs of people that are, let's say, highly suggestible? And Mark and Cheryl said, oh, yes, of course you can. Who do you want? Do you want rural white Americans who feel like they've been cheated? Do you want rural white Americans who feel like they've been cheated because they have? They have been cheated, but they weren't cheated by the immigrants. They were cheated by the people who figured out that if you destroy labor unions, you don't have to pay people a living wage. And you don't have to be an economist to understand this point. If you look at the cost of living, it went up, right? Does that look good with this hand? That's not bad. What about this hand? I'm trying to do the weatherman thing. Cost of living went boop, boop, boop. Wages went boop, boop. They flatlined. Well, I should do this. Wages went boop. Now they went up a little. They went up a little under Trump. So I think he kind of got it half right. He pushed up wages for regular working folks, but then he lied to them so many times, and then he made sure that the bigger cut went to the super wealthy, right? Well, the problem, we all know what the problem is. It's not immigrants. It's not monkeypox, although that is a problem. The problem is rich mother effers not paying enough in taxes. They figured out how to buy senators. And they bought a whole group of senators. And I'm not saying Democrats are innocent, but at this point, the GOP is a fully owned subsidiary of the grand old party, aka the greedy old pricks. It's a wholly owned subsidiary of the GOP, which is now owned almost in full by one Mr. Donald John Trump. He executed a hostile takeover of the GOP, and it worked. It freaking worked. So when Donald Trump and Steve Bannon went to Mark Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg and said, hey, can you help us? All right, if you got kids watching this, is now put on your earmuffs, kids. Can you help us completely fuck over American democracy? And Mark and Cheryl said, by God, we can. Nobody spreads hate. Nobody spreads hate like we do, people. That's Cheryl talking. Cheryl just retired the other day. I feel like it's a little bit odd, but I mean, I don't blame her for retiring. I'm sure 14 years at Facebook for Cheryl. And what Cheryl, I think, was real good at, I'd like to hear the inside story on this. Facebook, if you're listening, Frances Hagen, if you're listening, or the next whistleblower from Facebook, if you're listening, who figured out how to sell easily manipulated people to Donald Trump and Steve Bannon, and I'm guessing Paul Manafort had a lot to do with that. Brad Parscale, I think was the guy's name. Anyway, I want to know who figured out, because they got the psychology exactly right. You find people who feel exploited or discarded. You provide them a scapegoat. Trump gave them Mexicans, right? Coming down the elevator, he threw the Mexicans under the bus, right? Murderers and rapists. So they had a scapegoat right away. And he's tapping in. Here's where he tricked people. And this is what all the great ones do. And Trump he's a great false messiah. That's just what he is, right? He's so good at communicating. If somebody said we're going to give him an honorary PhD in communications, I'd vote for it. His ethics are the question, right? He intentionally, for his own, we call it self-aggrandizement, for his own inflated ego, he hurt children. Some of them died. Those are facts. You can read the order yourself. fact, I might even be so kind as to find the link myself, but since I've already read it a bunch of times, I don't really need it. But I'll put the link on down there on the Husker Du at the bottom of the page. Hey, you know, this is not just supposed to be me ranting inside of my family-owned pharmacy in Walla Walla, Washington. This is supposed to be you calling in, and we can talk about how Facebook helped destroy American democracy. It's not completely destroyed. I think it's kind of like climate change. I think it's more a question of, are we going to do anything about this? Are we? Because you know what? I'll be okay. I'm a white man of a certain age with just enough privilege to escape the worst effects. I mean, barring some things that, you know, privilege doesn't help you with, which that'll happen too. My point is, what we do now is going to determine. We've got to go. We've got to get going. You got to stop driving your car so much. You know it. I knew it. I got rid of my car in 2000. I'm not saying I'm better than you, but I'm probably saving more money than you. Probably $3,000 to $5,000 a year used to go into my car, and it's worse now with inflation. If you count gas and taxes and registration and all that BS. Point is, what Mr. Trump represents is an effective communicator with evil intent who grasped what surgical micro-targeting could do on Facebook. And Cheryl and Mark were right there ready to sell those eyeballs. They didn't even question where the money was coming from. You know why? Because it was a lot of fucking money. It was a lot of fucking money. They both belong in jail, in my opinion, for the reckless disregard of the health of not just our democracy, but the actual physical health of people. The number one, if you learn anything about Facebook today, the number one most viewed post, the highest ranked post, first quarter of 2021, I believe it was 2021. Might have been 2022. But the highest ranking post was a post questioning whether or not you should get vaccinated. And then it took you to a site that would lie to you about vaccination stuff and try to get you to buy fake cures, which then Mr. Trump touted. Have you ever seen a president shill in the briefing room there? White House briefing room. Trump's trying to sell hydroxychloroquine. I don't know how many times he kept bringing it up, and they're like, yeah, that doesn't really do any good. It might not hurt you, but it doesn't really do anything. Why is a president naming a particular drug and even spelling it? Why is he doing that? Because he's selling something, man. I'll bet you were going to find out he was getting reimbursed directly. Maybe not. Maybe he's just a kook. I don't know. I forgot how I got on this jag. It doesn't even really matter. What you need to know is that sociopathic narcissists like Mr. Trump, who have that level of communication ability, because in some ways Mr. Trump is not smart. If he was more self-regulated, I think we'd all be in trouble. I think he would have already won a second term. Thankfully, his Achilles heel, and we should exploit this at every opportunity, his Achilles heel is vanity, right? Just like Mr. Lebowski in The Big Lebowski. So tyrants should never rule. That's the whole reason we split off from Great Britain. And unless you have evidence in the United States crying and crying and crying about voter fraud over and over again with no evidence, it doesn't get you a conviction. And you must supply the proof. There isn't any. It's over. quit lying to people and quit changing voting laws because you pretend, oh, there was fraud. No, there wasn't. Like 8 people got convicted this year, literally. Under 200 people were even suspected of voter fraud, and I think only like 20 even went to court. Maybe less than 20 went to court. They just didn't prosecute them because they weren't sure, and it was such a small number. It didn't matter. There's no voter fraud, people. You're being lied to. Stand up for yourself. Stop accepting stuff just because you got suckered by a genius. Guess what? Bernie Madoff suckered some of the richest and ostensibly most intelligent people. Like, if they're that rich, they must know how money works, right? And Bernie Madoff bled them dry. So a lot of people get fooled. There's no shame in it. There's shame in getting fooled if once you realize you were fooled, you continue. Let's make that more dramatic. Don't continue getting fooled. Don't continue getting fooled. Don't continue getting fooled. Don't continue getting fooled. This is experimental politics, people. If you don't like it, if you don't like this, you probably shouldn't watch this show because it's going to stay weird like this. Oh, I cut away. Let's get back. There's Dr. Freud, your new, let me get over here with the mic so I can talk to Dr. Freud. Your new logo we're looking at here for Truth Bomb Memes. I really like it on a number of levels.
Well, thank you very much. The lighting, it was the idea of Sebastian through his behavior and intuition. I could tell which lighting Sebastian likes the best.
That's cool. That's very cool. Sebastian is what we would call the cinematographer almost, or just kind of a lighting technician type person.
Well, it's hard to say. We will see what becomes of it over time.
Yes, that's. I like that. I like that idea. That was a dynamic interaction there between Dr. Freud and myself. Here are some of the yard signs that are for sale on Kick-Ass Yard Signs. You can see them here. Fossil fuels are killing us. That's an original design there, people. I don't know if you can see. I'm pulling it the wrong way. There we go. That's original design work right there by Nathan Duckworth of Grand Rapids, Michigan, right there. His partner, Aline Guerrera, is an artist in her own right, and she's under Red Hydrant Press. If you want to check out her work, I should have a link to it. I don't at the moment. I apologize. I'll never let that happen again. Let's cut to the other camera so we can see it just a different angle on these signs. So what I was going to say was, this is an original prototype here. This is the work of Nathan Duckworth. This is my own design down here. And what else? Oh, this is a design by friend of the show, Sarah. Let's see if we can get it right. Looking at the wrong monitor. Free birth control for all. So says Sarah, and I agree. What do you think? Give us a call at 509-676-6666. 6032. Nobody wants to call. I'm not sure why, but I feel like I'm not really going live. I feel like it's a scam, people. We also I believe, this is, Sarah agrees with me. But this, let's do this other one. Let's do this camera. Personhood begins at consciousness. I really believe that. I'm not even saying that to like pick a fight or anything. I just think until the lights are on, nobody's home. That's what I think about abortion. When does conscious thought begin? Because that's pretty much when we cut people off on the other end of life. You're like, well, if your brain's gone, then we all, and not in a mean way. It's like if you don't have a brain and you're not you, most of us would say, yeah, that's not really me. I don't want to live like that. Yada, yada. So let's apply that to the beginning of life as well. I think it's a perfectly reasonable position, but it's hard because miscarriages cause grief. The grief is real. That doesn't mean that personhood has begun, but your attachment to the idea, the humanizing of the fetus, I think misleads people. I think it causes people to not think about the fact that there was no person there yet. And now many of you are going to ask, well, when does consciousness begin? And that, my friend, is a great question. We're going to need to hear from our neuroscientists on Truth Bomb Memes, 509-676-6032. When does the human brain, when does the fetus have enough brain capacity? Everybody gets hung up on the heartbeat. Anyone can have a heartbeat. You can be in a coma completely brain dead and have a heartbeat. Heartbeat proves nada. But people are attached to it because they've romanticized it. And they're like, oh, I heard my baby's heartbeat. It's like, yeah, but your baby's not in there yet. That's the physical chamber that his soul will occupy when he comes down from on high, aware of himself. The same way that Adam and Eve became aware of themselves in the Garden of Eden. I think the Bible sometimes has this weird wisdom where it's analogous to evolution in a sense, right? Like Adam and Eve become aware and ashamed and they start to basically live outside of perfection. And that's kind of like humans coming into consciousness. They become aware of themselves, and that's where the real struggle begins. Who am I? What do I want? Prior to that, I'm not saying we should be disrespectful of the fact that potential life is going to happen, but it's potential personhood. It's potential personhood, I think. That's what I think. A lot of you will disagree with me, and I will always defend your right to get an abortion or to not get an abortion as you see fit. I had another point to make and I forgot what it was. This is Truth Bomb Memes. I forget my points often. I walk off camera often. I am the switcher, the camera switcher here, so, you know, it's not the easiest thing to do. We're at 44 minutes, people. All right, let's do a little bit more fun with... Boy, if I cut all the wasted time out of this show, it could be like 11 minutes. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'm just going to make these shows 11 minutes long. All right, that's a good one. That one's pretty much baked. And let's bring back some air traffic control from Calgary, Canada. Live air traffic control. Give us a call live on Q109 676 6032. It's your one-stop shop for conversations about sociopathy, about cults, about QAnon. We talk all that shit. You don't separate children from their parents on purpose ever. Especially not for crossing the border. Too loud, people. Let's bring that drum down. That is too loud. I'm going to go lower on volume. And higher on the bass. Let's put some bass on that. I used to have a six-pack. That's right. Now I got just breadsticks. And now I got just breadsticks. That's right. I used to have a six-pack. Now I got just breadsticks. I used to have a six-pack. Now I got just breadsticks. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. That's right. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. That's right. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. I used to have a six-pack. I used to have a six-pack. That's right. I used to have a six-pack. I used to have a six-pack. Don't go small. That's right. Feck-a-deck-a-deck. And now I got just breadsticks. Feck-a-deck-a-deck. I used to have a six-pack. Now I got just breadsticks. Now I got just breadsticks. I go big. I used to have a six-pack. Now I got just breadsticks. I used to have a six-pack. Now I got just breadsticks. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. 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 Used to have a six-pack. Oh, that's right. Now I got just breadsticks. That's right. Used to have a six-pack. I used to have just breadsticks. That's right. I used to have a six-pack. I used to have a six-pack. That's right. Dick-a-dick-a-doo. Feck-a-deck-a-deck. And now I got just breadsticks. I used to have a six-pack. Used to have a six-pack. Now I got just breadsticks. And now I got just breadsticks. I used to have a six-pack. Now I got just breadsticks. I used to have a six-pack. Now I got just breadsticks. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. 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 Oh, yeah.
That's right. I used to have a six pack. 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 Go small. I used to have a six pack. Fuck a duck and duck. Turn me on. Big pack. Feck a deck a deck. Now I got just bread sticks. I used to have a six pack. Yeah. Now I got just breadsticks. Now I got just breadsticks. Ooh. Yeah. I used to have a six pack. Now I got just breadsticks. I used to have a six pack. Now I got just breadsticks. Ooh. That's right. That's right. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. That's right. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. That's right. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. That's right. Don't go small. Yeah. Ooh. That's right. I used to have a six pack. I used to have a six pack. Used to have a six pack. Used to have a six pack. I used to have a six pack. And now I got just breadsticks. I used to have a six pack. Now I got just breadsticks. And now I got just breadsticks. Ooh. Yeah. I used to have a six pack. Now I got just breadsticks. I used to have a six pack. Now I got just breadsticks. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Ooh. Yeah. That's right. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. 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 That's right. Used to have a six pack. I used to have a six pack. Used to have a six pack. I used to have a six pack. Don't go small, no big. Turn me fat. Feck a deck a deck. Now I got just breadsticks. I used to have a six pack. Now I got just breadsticks. Now I got just breadsticks. Ooh. Yeah. I used to have a six pack. Now I got just breadsticks. Don't go small. I used to have a six pack. Now I got just breadsticks. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. That's right. Ooh. Yeah. That's right. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. That's right. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. That's right. Yeah. Ooh. That's right. Yeah. Ooh. That's right. Used to have a six pack. I used to have a six pack. Used to have a six pack. Used to have a six pack. I used to have a six pack. That's right. Now I got just breadsticks. I used to have a six pack. Now I got just breadsticks. Now I got just breadsticks. Ooh. Yeah. I used to have a six pack. Now I got just breadsticks. I used to have a six pack. Now I got just breadsticks. Ooh. Oh, that's I used to have a six pack. Just breadsticks. Ooh. Yeah, big. I used to have a six pack. Now I got just breadsticks. Ooh. I used to have a six pack. Now I got just breadsticks. Ooh. Oh, that's right. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, that's right. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, that's right. Ooh. That's right. I used to have a six pack. 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 That's right. Turn me pack big. Back-a-dack-a-dack. Now I got just six. Just breadsticks. Ooh. Yeah. I used to have a six pack. Now I got just breadsticks. Ooh. I used to have a six pack. Now I got just breadsticks. Ooh.
Wow, thank you.
Oh, that's right.
Thank you very much. If I had a fake applause, not that it would have to be fake, but if I had an applause button,
That's right.
I would push it just for Bigfoot. Thank you, Bigfoot, for coming.
That's right. I used to have a six
Good luck on your ride home,
I used to have a six pack.
and we'll see you soon.
Have a six pack. I used to have a six pack.
All right, people, we're wrapping up. This television broadcast is simulcasted live on Q109 out of Walla Walla, Washington. Your favorite mythical radio station, Q109. Serving you truth bomb memes. Call now, 509-676-6032. Operators are standing by. Slow transition. Slide left. Toaster. Some of you may be wondering why I am wearing my swimsuit on the bottom half and my suit coat on my top half, and that is because I will shortly be adjourning, as Peter Griffin taught me. I will be adjourning to the sprinklers in the backyard. I hope you all will do the same. Don't sit around watching screens and reading bullshit on Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg made billions of dollars using their product to turn you into a product. And now they've caused all this harm, and Cheryl's going to retire or move to another job. Isn't that nice? How about some civil liability? If I have a family member that died or was severely injured by COVID, and I could show that they spent an inordinate amount of time on Facebook being bombarded with an algorithm of increasingly inflammatory posts that ultimately led them to make a decision that was counterfactual and counter-science, and they died. Don't I have a right to a remedy? Just like when kids were hitting people in the head with lawn darts in the 70s for a minute, or it might have been the 60s. You can't have a product that allows people to kill themselves so effectively. And you, Mark and Cheryl, I think you knew. I think you knew and you didn't care. And that's Truth Bomb Memes for today. That's my opinion. I think they knew and they didn't care. We are 1 minute, 10 seconds over our time limit. The FCC will probably come crashing in here any minute. Let's all remember that we were immigrants. Can we remember that? That's so hard. I'm not even a Christian. And I know Jesus was right. Jesus was correct. Treat your neighbor the way you'd want to be treated, people. It's simple. It's so simple. You don't have to be a Christian. See the humanity in another person. Do the opposite of what Donald Trump does, where he strives to treat people like garbage. Would you agree, Professor Freud?
Yes, very much so. We won't go into the psychiatric nomenclature, but he is a huge, flaming piece of burp.
Oh, sorry about that. Dr. Freud had to be deleted. He got canceled. Freud just got canceled. He was going to say something terrible. Somehow I know he was going to say something terrible.
Yes, very sorry. I was losing controls. But Trump is, psychiatrically speaking, exactly the same as Adolf Hitler. He just hasn't gained enough power yet.
Yeah, that's a scary freaking thought, Dr. Freud. Thank you. Let's cut to your cool logo, Dr. Freud, and say goodbye to everyone and keep asking them to maybe call the show sometime. Because, well, you know, hey, there's the school bus. That means it's time for me to wrap it up here, people. I like to get my afternoon broadcast in, then I got to get my chores done, you know? Got to get my chores done. Today I'm going to mow a little grass and set up a little shop for tomorrow. For Saturday. All right, people. Go to Kick-Ass Yard Signs and buy some cool stuff. And tax the rich. That's the real deal right there, people. It's not. Let me just say this before we go. I'm not trying to say all rich people are bad. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying, can't they pay a little more in taxes? And they're going to say, well, we pay so much more. It's not fair. Wah, wah. And I'm not talking about like small to medium-sized business owners. I think business owners should get all kinds of help and assistance because it's good for society to have small businesses. I'm standing up to look into the wrong camera. So I'm just going to have to walk back over here and pretend like I didn't just make that mistake. I don't go small, I go big. I'll give me a moment to collect my thoughts. Yeah, I'm not trying to say rich people are bad here. Some of them are, some of them aren't. I'm sure it's a whole rainbow of personalities and whatnot. What I am saying is it's not too much to ask for wages to go up at the same rate as inflation. But it'll never happen if you elect people like Donald Trump. It'll never happen because their interest lies elsewhere. They'll throw you a bone if you're poor and you're white because you are being discriminated against if you're poor and you're white. Not because you're white, though. It's because you're poor. Black people get discriminated against twice if they're poor. So don't elect a guy that was born into money to run your country. You'd be way better off with somebody like Bernie Sanders, who at least knows what it's like to be a normal person. I know you're all scared of democratic socialism, and you know what? It's just a boogeyman word. They said the same thing when they're trying to pass Social Security. Go look at the political ads that were run against LBJ for wanting to do Social Security. Turned out it's one of the best things we ever did. It protects a lot of us because what has happened to retirement for regular schlub workers like me and you? There's no retirement for you. Excuse me, I got tree pollen. Tree pollen right in my throat. There's no backup plan for regular working class people anymore. If you don't invest your money wisely, and you may not even make enough to really invest, or you do and you're spending poorly, whatever, there's got to be a way for people to retire and not worry about their health and the cost of their housing. And it shouldn't be such a frickin' jigsaw puzzle that you don't know how to put it together. That's what a lot of people run into. My point is, once you're a billionaire, how much shit do you need, man? Seriously. Stop complaining. If you're a multi-millionaire and you have to pay more in taxes, stop complaining, you bitch. These people are working their asses off. They're working their fingers to the bone. White and black people are working their fingers to the bone for fucking chop shop wages. I don't even know what that means, but I like the sound of it. It means you ain't paying them shit. It means you ain't paying them jack shit. Sorry, kids, if you're listening. I don't cuss all the time, but I cuss sometimes. I curse. Do you prefer cursing or cussing? I kind of like cussing, because that's what we said back in Grandview, Missouri, back in the late 60s, early 70s. So don't put rich mother effers in office. And guys, he almost tricked you. I'll leave you with this thought about Mr. Trump. He almost tricked you into giving up the only health care that some of you had. He said, hey, trust me, let's get rid of Obamacare. And you guys were like, yeah, get rid of it, it sucks. Half of you had Obamacare. It was the Affordable Care Act, but you didn't know that. You're lucky John McCain saved your ass. Your asses, collective asses. John McCain saved your asses and a couple other people. I think I have to give Susan Collins credit there, even though she knew better with Trump. She knew better, but she just kept lying to herself. I was going to imitate her voice, but it's a cheap shot. Or is it? I don't know. Oh, I think he learned his lesson. Mr. Trump won't do anything like that again. Yeah, sure. Criminals don't just stop criming, right? He might be, I'm just going to say this on the air, with the Calgary Air Traffic Control as a time and date stamp. He might be the first American president to ever go to federal prison. Or the odds of him serving time don't seem real, but maybe house arrest, maybe a Jeffrey Epstein kind of. Be great if Donnie and Jeffrey ended up in the same boat. The thing is, he's a criminal who crimes all the time, and even if you love him, you must realize that he just wants us to hate each other, because that gives him power. It's like shooting the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man with just one gun, one laser gun, big ghost buster gun. Someday people will call into the show and we'll have fun conversations about these topics, and we'll start to realize that society is based on a physiological principle called homeostasis. It's where you have a balance. You don't want your blood pressure too high or too low. You don't want your temperature too high or too low. It's got to be just right. Democracy means getting it just right. The GOP wants to go back to kings, specifically rich white male kings. You can throw in a few white women too. Maybe like one crazy black woman could be a king too. But that's the GOP, right? There's no way to maintain, and the Democrats are guilty too. The liberals hyperbolize all the time, but the liberals aren't trying to take away the right to vote by lying about election fraud. That's y'all's doing. That's the GOP's doing. And I'm preaching to you, GOP. Black people, you can watch this too if you want, but it's just a crazy liberal redneck spouting off, and you probably aren't going to hear anything that you don't already know. That being said, I welcome all ethnicities, religions, walks of life, and I don't want to say genders, if that's the right way to say it. People are so worried about gender. Just forget about it, man. It's none of your business. My dad used to say, "Is that a boy or a girl?" Funny, Dad. How about this? Why don't you stop worrying about their giblets? Everybody's got giblets. Who cares? It's just all nerve endings. We were all girls to begin with until the male chromosome kicks in, and then you turn into a boy. So we all started out as girls first 3 months. It's all nerves and skin, people. Stop tripping on what people like to do to feel good. If they're not hurting you, leave it alone. White people, black people, brown people, stop tripping on issues of sexuality. It's over. Leave it alone. Nobody's hurting anybody. Good God. I forgot my whole point. I got sidetracked by that whole thing. Good thing I got some cold brew coffee from Madcap. I believe Madcap is based in Grand Rapids, Michigan, but I've seen them in Washington, D.C. too. I forgot the name of this particular bean, but it's lovely as a cold brew. Let's thank our sponsors. Let's not elect millionaires who say things like, "I alone can fix it." Whenever somebody says, "I alone can fix it," get the fuck out of the room, man. That's like walking into a haunted house and you hear the devil say, "I'm going to steal your soul." And that's where you're like, "I'm getting the hell out of here." That's what I mean by Donald Trump being dumb. He wanted them to believe that he could do it. Maybe it was smart. They were buying it at the time. But if you look back on that, that's an open admission that he's a wannabe dictator. You don't say, "I alone can fix it." You know who said, "I alone can solve your problems"? Where are you? You're in that camera. Charles Manson said that. Jim Jones said that over and over again. Come on, man. It's the oldest trick in the book. All right, we're way over time. I'm babbling. Truth bomb memes. Nobody likes to call this show. But someday that will all change. This is a great rehearsal, everybody. Good job, Dr. Freud. You still there, Dr. Freud?
Yes, thank you very, very much. Sebastian and I and my friends had a very good time.
Well, I'm so happy to have you here because I don't have anyone else to talk to. Oh, please, for the love of all that is holy, let's put more mental health cops on the beat. We can agree on that, can't we? Let's put mental health cops on the beat. And let's not elect sociopathic narcissists to public office anymore. Even if you're afraid of democratic socialism because the word socialism is in it. I keep trying to move this screen around on the monitor, and it's not the real screen. Masks do save lives. Even if you're afraid of socialism, is what I'm getting at. It's not really a thing anymore. It's pretty much all capitalism and with a little bit of social welfare. So stop being afraid of the concept of socialism. You know what we can do instead of calling it socialism? Because that's a whole different thing. That's where the government runs all the businesses. You know about that, don't you, Dr. Freud?
Yes, it's very bad. The governments do own everything. They make the old McDonald's. It tastes like shite. Shite and shite. I can't stop it.
Oh my God, Dr. Freud, are you okay? Oh, okay. He's getting some water. Dr. Freud needs some water. What else do we want to say? I think we've said everything. Yeah, buy some stuff, would you? Or go to the churchofsocialjustice.org and get yourself one of these bad boys right here. Immigrants do make great Americans. Donald Trump was a genius in some ways. He's a genius at messaging, but he's a liar. He's just lying. You gotta recognize. We'll see you next time on Truth Bomb Memes. Let's go out with a video. Have a good day, everybody. Truth Bomb Memes. We're on TikTok. We're on Tumblr. We're on Twitter under the handle Truthy Trump. We're on Facebook, even though we feel like Facebook is destroying the world. One more time.
Night.